During the hearing of the Sabarimala reference case, a 9-judge bench of the Supreme Court led by Chief Justice Surya Kant explored the delicate boundary between constitutional rights and religious traditions. Justice BV Nagarathna observed that genuine women devotees of Lord Ayyappa often respect the temple's long-standing customs by waiting until they are over 50 years old to visit the shrine. She noted that the true devotees between the ages of 10 and 50 observe this restraint voluntarily, suggesting that spiritualism and conscience are deeply rooted in centuries of civilizational history rather than being newly introduced by the constitution. The bench expressed a strong desire to avoid any interpretation of religious freedom that would result in the annihilation of a religion or the hollowing out of faith in the name of social reform. Senior advocate Indira Jaising, representing the women seeking entry, strongly challenged these observations. She argued that the exclusion of women during their most productive and creative years essentially asks them to live half a life. Jaising contended that while religions can and do reform from within, the court must intervene when the customs are based on notions of purity, pollution, or defilement, which she likened to the practice of untouchability prohibited under Article 17. She maintained that the right to enter a public temple is a fundamental freedom and that the court should recognize reforms that align with constitutional values. The bench also raised concerns regarding whether non-believers or individuals with no connection to the temple's specific philosophy should be able to challenge its customs. Justice Nagarathna questioned the standing of those far removed from the temple's local context, while Justice Sundaresh warned of the dangerous consequences if every individual claimed to conflicting religious rights were accepted. He suggested that such an approach would lead to a disaster for the concept of religion itself, as it might militate against the collective rights of protected under Article 25. The court emphasized that matters of conscience and specific philosophy of a deity are complex areas that the legislature and the judiciary must handle with care to maintain a buffer between social reform and religious autonomy. In response to the court's concerns about the essential religious practices test, Jaising urged the bench not to discard it entirely but to use it for the harmonization. She argued that while the court are not theologians, they can take knowledge from religious texts to determine the theology of an institution. She stressed that the law must interfere with customs that are egregiously violative of fundamental rights rather than invalidating all traditions. The bench concluded by noting that there must be a balance between the protecting of the past and addressing the legal injuries claimed by those seeking change. The hearing is scheduled to continue on May 5th.